Okay, let's take a look at this problem. So we got to separate this figure into 3 triangles. Label them big, small, and medium. The first thing you need to know is that this angle, like you want to maybe color it in reddish or whatever color you got. And you got another angle over here, which we'll call our yellow angle. Now, you're going to see 3 triangles in this figure. Now, let's look at the big triangle. That's the first one I see. It's got the red, the yellow, and the 90. Let's look at this small triangle right here. It's got the 90 and the red, meaning this small triangle is similar to the bigger one because of angle. Like big one's got the 90, small one's got the 90, big one's got the red, small one's got the red. That means that this angle is congruent to this, because when you have similar triangles, they're the same shape. And that means the corresponding angles are the same. So, here we go. We're going to color this one in red. And what you're going to do now is, don't forget you got this 90 here. You're basically going to trace this whole figure. That's the first thing I would do. So, here we go. Point, 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 point. You got A, D, E, C is the whole thing, B, F. You want to get all the angles. I'm going to also color them. So here we go, red, red. We got yellow, yellow. Don't want to miss your 90s. Okay, so we should be good. Now let's just connect the dots, finish this thing off. So if you take this first step and you do it precisely, it's going to save you a ton of time. All right, so you got your figure traced. Okay, tracing paper, patty paper, super important. All right, now we're going to draw the big one right here. And you could do it in this orientation, that's fine. So here we go. Big one's going to be from point, point, point. I'm just gonna move it to the side for a second. I don't want to mess up my orientation. All right, we're just gonna redraw this thing. Okay, so we got him here, right? Now you got to capture the right stuff. So this is B, this is A, the whole thing is C. You got a 90 right here. This is your yellow angle, and this is your red angle. So red, yellow. Okay, now we're gonna do the small one right here. It's got to be in the same orientation though. So the small one, it's not like this, it's like this. Yellow up top. I'm just gonna move this real quick so I can finish my triangle. Now we gotta relabel everything. Okay, so then you got that. You just look through, so this is F. That's a D, and that looks like an A. Okay, so then we got the yellow and the red right here. This is why tracing as a first step, every single little thing is gonna help you a ton. All right, and then last but not least, we got the medium one, which is right here. I want to get it in the right orientation. So medium one is this, this, and this. And make sure the yellow's up top. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna move it, keep it in the same orientation. Redraw my triangle. Okay, so here we go. We got the, is that an E? Looks like an E. Yep, so E is this one. This is a B. And then this is F. And then we got the 90, we got the red, and we got the yellow. All right. Go Niners. Okay, now you have separated this figure into 3 triangles. You've labeled them big, small, medium. Okay, now you got to write all the proportions as possible. So what's cool about this part is you can use 2 sides from one triangle and compare them to 2 sides of another. Or you could use 2 sides of the same triangle and compare them to 2 sides of the other. So I'm just going to try a bunch. So here we go. If I go B over C, that'll be the same as F over A. So there's one. All right, what if I go B over A? That'll be the same as F over D. What if we go C over A? So C over A, that'll equal A over D. It'll also equal B over F. So all these are coming in handy. All right, what if I go corresponding sides of 2 different triangles? So say I go A over D, right? This side over this side. It's gonna be the same as this side over this side. So C over A. What if I said C over B? C over B. Using big and medium, C over B. Then you could say B over E. So as you can tell, there are so many possible proportions. So just practice that. Like try to get like, I don't know, 10 maybe. But basically you can compare like 2 sides of the same triangle. As long as you start with, if you start B over A, then make sure you go F over D. Or you can do corresponding sides of 2 different triangles. So you could say B over F equals A over D. So, all right, cool. All right, so first one down, that took about 8 minutes. That's okay. All right, separate this figure into 2 similar triangles. All right, so we've got, we have this larger one here, ACB, and then we also have A prime, B prime, C prime. Okay, so these are parallel. These 2 lines are parallel. And then we have a transversal cutting across 2 parallel lines. Meaning you can just say like this angle is the same as this because of parallel lines and a transversal, because those are called corresponding angles. So then we got this one shared, right? So you have angle, angle. So that means the bigger triangle is similar to the smaller triangle. So now all you got to do is capture the 2 triangles. So here we go. I like to use these indentations. So you got 1, 2, 3. You got A prime, B prime, and then this is C prime. And then you also have the big triangle. So A, B, C. So A, B, C. So A, B, C. And then let's just redraw them. Okay, now let's label everything we know. So A prime C is 12. CB prime is 6. A prime B prime is 8. And then over here you got a 20. And then you're not sure what this is. Now we have to figure out A prime, so we'll call that X. We got to figure out B prime, so why don't we call that Y? All right, now this side, CA, from C to A is going to be 12 and X. So C and A, 12 and X. So this is just 12 plus X. And then right here we got C to B is 6 and Y. So this is 6 plus Y. Okay, now it's time to set up ratios. Now, I see a set of corresponding sides. So we're going to use that, 8 over 20, to figure out what Y equals. So since we started small and went big, 8 over 20. Now we're going to start small, 6 over big, 6 plus Y. And this is how we're going to find Y right here. And once you have a ratio equaling a ratio, or a fraction equaling a fraction, then you just cross multiply. 6 times 20 is 120, and then 8 times 6 plus Y. So you'll get 120 equals 48 plus 8Y. You'll subtract 48 to both sides. And then you're going to get 8Y equals 120 minus 40 is 80, minus another 8 is 72. Then you just got to divide by 8, divide by 8. These cancel, so you'll end up getting Y equals 72 divided by 8, so Y equals 9. So B prime was Y, so that's 9. All right, let's look at X. We got to figure out A prime A. Okay, same deal. You're gonna use this 8 over 20 again. So here we go, 8 over 20. And then we got to solve for X. So we're gonna say equals 12 over 12 plus X. Again, we're just comparing the corresponding sides. So this one and this one, 8 over 20, equals this one over this one. 12 over 12 plus X. And then from here, you just cross multiply. 12 times 20, well, 12 times 2 is 24, plus you add the 0, so that's 240, equals 8 times 12 plus X. So 240, you could actually divide by 8 right here. That would work. 240 divided by 8 will equal 30. So 30 will equal 12 plus X, and then you just subtract 12 to both sides. Those cancel out. X will equal 18. So now you got it. And that's it. 2 down. 15 minutes. No big deal. All right, now we're going to go fast, though. Okay. This one's tricky, and I'll show you the best way that I know how to do it. Capture this smaller triangle right here. C, D, B, and then label the 3 and the H. show you how to do this one. Okay, so you got CDB right here, right? Watch, if we rotate it, it's in the same position. And then it makes it super easy. So again, trace this one, rotate it, and then you're gonna say this. 3 over h, so 3 over h, so little over big, equals h, little over big, 12. And then you just cross multiply, 36 equals h squared. Take the square root of both sides. H equals 6. Boom, done. All right, find the lengths of segments AB and BD. So let's start with BD. Now BD, you're going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This is C, because it's always across from the 90. The longest side is always across from the 90. So you're going to say, we'll make this A, and then we don't know what this is yet. So you'll say 1.8 squared plus b squared equals 3 squared. And then you just use your calculator. 1.8 squared. 1.8 squared is 3.24. Plus b squared equals 9. Minus 3.24 to both sides. 9 minus 3.24 is 5.76. And then you just go second x squared 5.76 equals. And then you'll end up getting b equals 2.4. Okay, so this is 2.4. All right, and that was BD, so 2.4. All right, and then we're going to do it again. So we've got A, B, this is C again. So you're just going to rewrite Pythagorean. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then you'll say 2.4 squared plus 3.2 squared equals c squared. 2.4 squared is 5.76 plus 3.2 squared is 10.24, and that's going to equal c squared. So you're going to get 16 equals c squared, square root both sides, c equals 4. So AB equals 4, BD equals 2.4. Okay, so those are the first 4. Now we're just going to rip through this. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 144 plus 25 equals c squared. 169 equals c squared. Square root both sides. C equals 13. Okay, next one. These are fast. Pythagorean theorem is super fast. So they already gave you C. So you just rewrite a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 equals c squared. Square root both sides. C equals 5. All right, next one. 2 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. They already gave you C. Makes it easy. 4 plus 81 equals c squared. 85 equals c squared. And we're going to square root both sides. C equals the square root of 85. Here it is on the calculator. Second x squared 85. 9.2. Okay, next one. A, B, and C. 1 squared plus 7 squared equals c squared. So then you got 1 plus 49 equals c squared. 50 equals c squared. Square root both sides. C will equal the square root of 50. Second x squared 50 equals 7.07. Cool. All right, so there's those. Last but not least, you got to solve for a leg. So why don't we call this B? C is always opposite from the 90, so this is always C. Opposite of 90 is always C. So you say 9 squared plus b squared equals 15 squared. So 81 plus b squared equals 225. Subtract 81 to both sides. B squared equals 225 minus 81, 144. And then you square root both sides. You end up getting b equals 12. I always recommend writing it on the figure. Make it easy. 2 more and then we're done. This is C because it's across from the 90. It's the first thing I do on all these. So you want to call that A, you want to call that B. So you go 15 squared plus B squared equals 25 squared. That's just A squared plus B squared equaling C squared. So 225 plus B squared equals 625. Subtract 225 to both sides. You're going to get B squared equals 400. Square root both sides. B equals 20. And one more. This is C. I always do that first. And then they gave you that equals B, so make that A. So you just rewrite A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So 4 squared plus B squared equals 11 squared. 16 plus B squared equals 121. Subtract 16 to both sides. B squared equals 105. And then square root both sides. B equals second. X squared 105 equals 10.246. So why don't we call it 10.2. And that's it. Okay, those are your solutions. 20 minutes, no big deal.